finally rewatched The Purge, which came out in 2013. It's from Blumhouse Productions, of course. My thoughts about this movie, I mean, I've rewatched it a couple times before this, and I was never that big of a fan compared to the other sequels that came out after. And rewatching it, I kind of kept the same thoughts about it. I liked that it had a simple beginning with a simple explanation for how the world currently is and how it's different from our world. I liked that it had a montage in the beginning to further explain and show how the world is. Some people might not like this because it's obvious storytelling, but I really enjoyed this because it kicked off the world and it got you right into it. I also like the scene in the beginning where the father is driving through his over-the-top rich neighborhood and some radio broadcasters are talking in the background about the poor being the most impacted. This continues the theme of how they're going to tell the story, and it's just more world building. I feel like this movie is a little more subtle than Anarchy and Election Year, which I don't mind. It's a good beginning to the rest of the series, though some of the characters are a little lackluster. And I really have to say that's my biggest complaint about it. I just don't really like any of the main characters in the family. I definitely realized the social implications in this rewatch compared to others. Continuing with the world building, the interactions the wife has with the neighbor seem really fake, and you continue to get a feel for how this family lives. Even though I didn't like the characters in the family too much, you still were able to notice the tension between the two, which I enjoyed. I never actually realized that this film takes place basically inside only one house, which I mentioned in my Stillborn review, that I really enjoy watching movies that are set in one location because they have to thoroughly use it to its best advantage. And as I've been saying, I feel like the best thing about this film is it just set up the sequels and the world. That was definitely the best thing about it, and it let the sequels explore it even more compared to if Anarchy was the first Purge. I like the whole premise of the film, since it's a rich family, the ones that are always supposed to be safe during the Purge because of their wealth and ability to buy security systems and weapons, but this shows that the rich are not actually safe. It's a subtle thing, but I just really enjoy how this movie covered the rich white people, and then the next two are a little different. I really dislike the daughter's boyfriend subplot thing. I don't know, it was just really dumb and not really necessary at all in my opinion. And this is kind of spoilery, so if you haven't seen it, maybe you don't want to hear this. But I don't understand why he shoots at the dad. Like, it's never really explained or talked about why he did it. So I'm just like, okay. I mean, I kind of got the gist that he did it because, you know, it's the Purge, and maybe if her family was dead, then she'd run away with him. I don't know. It's dumb. I also don't understand why once the son let the stranger into their home, the father immediately pulls a gun out. I mean, yeah, you're gonna be a little spooked, but pulling a gun out when this man's locked down in your home and you don't know who he is, like, why would you do that? I mean, all you have to do is be like, hey, what's up? And I'm sure he'd answer. I mean, I know it's, you know, for drama and the plot and whatever, but really. Overall, this film has a good basis for the sequels. It still isn't my favorite of the three. I really believe that with each film it gets better, which is rare. The characters were kind of unbearable to watch for the most part, and that's my biggest problem. with it. So I'm going to do a review for Purge Anarchy and Purge Election Year before the first Purge comes out. Let me know if you agree with the comments I made about this film down in the comments below. I'm really interested in seeing if people also agree with me about the characters being lackluster, and that the best thing it has going for this film is just the setup for the next couple films.